Hi, you're back to Real True Education, not fake news. Vintage. This is vintage only, and doing a workshop practice. This is not for people interested in other things like energy, fuel, politics, and all that. And all that. This is for, so don't waste time looking at this. This is for a specialized audience, but there are a lot of people into vintage and all that stuff. This is making tools with tools. And one thing that you will not get around or make yourself, unless you're very gifted, is a lathe. No matter what type of lathe, the good it is, you not easily make it. So you have to get a lathe if you're into this. And it's the prince of all engineering tools. Now before I start, I want to show you, this is just a punnet for fruit. And you might think, what's that to do with engineering? Well, funny enough, it has just a beautiful thickness for packing. So for putting under a cutting tool, getting the height right, or various other practices, this is good. Now, ordinary paper like this is sometimes used, but that's fire. So you have the choice of the two. So don't discount having this in the workshop. Okay, so the next thing is, if you look at the lathe here, you see that the tool hole and all this on the top here. Don't mind this for the minute. That's what you actually get. And the first thing I made for across the top was this. See that? Now you might say that's dirty, but you have to spray it with an anti-rust material which puts an oily skin on it. You cannot leave this stuff just lying around bare or it'll rust. Okay? So the thing about it is this tool, if you can come up a wee bit there, cameraman, it has, you see the T-slots. Now I cut all of those. I made this out of mild steel, and on the bottom of it you have a rotary here that goes into the tool post holder. And then there are I drilled two holes in the top slide that fits these two here with spacers. And so what effect you have is you have that type of top. And this is on a lot of model engineering lathes, and it's on the Myford, and many of these are built with this, but this effectively turns it into that. Now, I'm still amazed at how I managed with a woodruff cutter to cut those across. First thing I did was I cut an ordinary slot, just straight down with a slot cutter, and then I used a woodruff. And they're not all deadly in line, but you can bolt anything onto that. You just have to put your the same as any other, just bolt it on there, and Bob's your uncle, right? So now we leave that there. That just shows you. Now there's certain things you might want to do. You might want to face off, or you might want to mill something in on that, and for that you have a flat surface to put your mill on. This is an example here, for example, of such a mill that I use for cutting teeth in gear wheels. See that here, there it's there. Put that in there, and that goes round, and you bolt your work to that. Okay, so that's that. Now the next thing then, the next project I did was this thing here. Now this is a top slide, a milling slide that bolts onto the top of the slide here. You remove this, you bolt this on, and this is all made out of steel. See that? Mild steel. Now, except for a bit of what do you call it, cast iron in these. So if you see, that's all entirely made. And what I'm doing at the moment here now, I have a cylinder of a steam engine in there, and I can turn this round. I have it marked here and here, and I can turn it round to put 6 evenly spaced bolts in the top of the cylinder head of a steam engine, or indeed an internal combustion engine you're making. And this then here, I use a buttress thread here. And I may happen to put it the wrong way around, but it doesn't really matter that well. You just twist it the opposite direction. And all of that is handmade. You see the way it works? It can turn at various degrees, and you can bolt on your material. Now if you look here carefully, you see T-slots here. That's how it's bolted in with T-slots. I use cup head 8mm bolts and grind them off so they fit neatly in here. So therefore you can bolt on that, and you can use your chuck or whatever that is in the spindle of the lathe. You can use that as the tool holder, and you can mill in that all in a small way. But in most cases you don't need a lot of space. You're not going to be doing a lot of big things that you'd need a milling machine for. Now about a year ago I bought this at a Variety Mart. This is the equivalent milling slide for a lathe. That's probably a Myford there. Again, it's not as easy clamped, it's not as versatile, but I will use it for something else. So there's a few examples of tools you can make yourself, and very often you do. Now, I don't make everything. There's a nice little dial gauge holder there, nicely machined, nice little bit of kit myself. Bought that at the Variety Mart for 20 euros. If you watch out, there's often very good bargains in that sort of stuff. Now, one of the things I'm at for a while and didn't get on very well is to make a rotary tool holder that I could bolt this onto that, what I'm after showing you there, and have a motor driving this, and there's bearings in this here, so that you can put some kind of tool in here, and you can cut a slot right down the shaft held in the lathe. Now, that's not as easy done as you would think, but it gives you some idea of what can be done if you give things their time, use plenty of good cutting fluid, and think it out relatively carefully. Like, it's not everything. Now, there is one other wee thing just here. It's this. See, if you want to mount your milling cutter, you can put this in here like that. You see that? And then this has indexing around here, and you can twist. You can twist your slide. I have it bolted on the other thing. You can twist it up and down at various degrees as well, and then you can turn this around like this. And that's an extra wee bit of kit. I've used that quite a lot for small little things, mainly in a hobby area, making engine parts. If you're making an air-cooled engine, you might want to mill out the fins for the airflow around them. So that's basically that. There's always something in the pipeline. This gives you something to be doing, and you're better at it than means another thing. So that's it, folks. I'll let you go with that. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and we'll see you back for something else soon. Thank you.